SOGUS is not a summer camp. SOGUS is a disciplined academy of learning where leadership skills and tools are taught, the background and the framework of the troop operations program within the Boy Scouts of America. These boys are up at 6:30 in the morning. They have full course meals prepared at breakfast. They entertain guests. They set the tables perfectly with table decorations. They're inspected. They get high scores. They know how to do lunch. They know how to do supper. They know how to do chicken and dumplings. They know how to do the best meatloaf in town. I know, I'm telling the secret. I'm sorry, guys. And it's a good thing. They've gone through an experience with a lot of discipline. And they've come through like champs. They've come through with a lot of energy. They were presented obstacles during this course, some obstacles that were much bigger than they were. Obstacles that they could not surmount by themselves. Obstacles that absolutely required them to hang together as a team. They've learned that cooperation is a magnificent concept. And that when they cooperate as a team within themselves, there's just no stopping them. But when they don't cooperate, their team's effort begins to show. They begin to go down. With every one of the patrols, we've had a troop guide and an adult as a patrol advisor. They've been there to see to it that these young men succeeded. That does not mean they've had any kind of a codependent relationship with their patrols. They've understood that sometimes doing the hard thing is the right thing. The people can stretch beyond the point where they think they can go. But when they do, they come out on the other side stronger, better self-esteem, more mature. These boys, these young men, have had that kind of an experience for 8 days. They built their own camps. They built their own homes. They made their own. They built lashings for their stoves and to wash their hands, and they just made themselves a nice home as a gateway. They took care of it during the week. They kept their tents straight, neat, and clean. I could go on and on and on. But what they really did was they had a journey, a great journey. There were many things that they were taught in that journey. Homer said that the journey is the thing. They had a journey with each other. They had an experience of finding friends and working out relationships, working out the group process, and coming out on the other end cohesive and strong and very determined to do the right thing. You can feel the energy, can't you? You can feel their enthusiasm, can't you? Mm-hmm. Yes. You could say yes, sir, or you could applause. We've had some young men who have excelled, who have been chosen by their peers to be the honorary patrol leaders. They went on an overnight camp miles away from here, planned their whole evenings, fixed their meals, sang songs, talked about the past week, and elected themselves an honorary patrol leader. We played a game here at SOGUS called Gaia. It took 3 days to play the game. Gaia is the name for Mother Earth, or the spirit of Earth. The whole thrust and the focus of Gaia is that the natural communities operate on cooperation rather than survival of the fittest, which we used to believe in. And that there, for example, with the caribou herds and the wolves, there is this balance between the two. The caribous have their job and the wolves have their job, and they keep a perfect balance as long as man doesn't get in the middle of it. So natural communities cooperate. And so on Thursday, they played a game. It was a cooperation game. They couldn't talk, they couldn't signal. They had puzzle pieces in front of them. They had to make 8 squares of equal size using these pieces. Now, as long as they took pieces, they couldn't win. But if they gave their pieces away, they could win. So, after they worked with that, they learned, they had some discoveries, they had some interesting discussions, they learned some things about themselves. When they turned the template over, there was a treasure map. Would you stand up, Bill? Bill Beach organized the first preliminary junior leader training program in the council. It's the one that said, hey, we can do this thing, and then we did the national program the next year. Then Bill served after the first one for sessions number 2, 3, and 4, I believe. He is a great scouter. He's a personal friend. He has the great capacity to love young men, and they love him. He has influenced, I can't even tell you how many people Bill Beach has influenced personally by his example and by his love. Jane Mitchell is here. She's the junior leader coordinator for training within the area. She's been a particular support to our program. And we love and care for her and thank her. And I would like you to come up and say a few words to these folks, if you would, Jean.
Western Region Area 1 is what you people are part of. It includes the Far East Council in Tokyo. That's United States of America Boy Scouts on probably military property with U.S. military families. There are 3 councils in Alaska, and then we cover everything in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and a little bit of Northern California. 17 councils. It's a little bit of a scramble. This will tell you since my vacation started Saturday morning. This is the 5th council JLC I have visited because 95% of you does it the first week out of school. George and I are scrambling, and we'll be in Crater Lake tomorrow, and we'll be at the Idaho border the next day. You need to know that this council runs probably one of the finest JLT courses of all 17 of those councils. No secret of this. I don't say that to every council. You have the finest numbers, you have the finest staff, you have the finest people returning again and again. There are councils running courses with barely 20 boys who would die for what you people have here. So you can be very proud of what you have.
I thought, you know, this really is what makes a difference in life. It's when somebody has light, somebody who has light moves. Somebody who has light takes action. Somebody who has light and knowledge and ability and strength moves forward. When somebody who has moral fiber within them, who believes in God, who has the 12 points of the Scout Law, who has the ideals of scouting embedded within their hearts, who from the time they were Cub Scouts were giving honor to God and to country and to self and to others. When someone like that, who is filled with that kind of light, who has that moral compass embedded deep within themselves, when they decide to move forward, when they decide to take action, when they decide to line up on the right side of things, to make our society a more moral society, a more ethical society, a more caring society, it makes a difference. It makes a big difference. And young men, I hope you're taking in what I'm telling you. It'll have more meaning when you get just a little bit older, perhaps. But we want you to go back, and we want you to make a difference. And you can start out with your troops. You can go back and you can teach them the things you've learned. And you can share with them all the pictures that you have in your mind, right? Thousands and thousands of pictures that you've been taking all week long of ideal scouting in this simulated program. The way we've done our flag ceremonies. The way we've operated under the troop operation system, the patrol council meetings that every single one of you have participated in the teaching. Some of the things that you saw, some of the giant obstacles that you saw on the mountain there. The big ball game, the catapults, Tug of wars. Take those pictures and go back and put them into action. Find a way to communicate with your scout masters, your unit leaders, so that you can take this good stuff that's been given to you and you can put it into action. And when you take that movement, you're going to be seen. Even though there's a lot of other eyes and a lot of other ideas, when you take your action and you begin to move, you're going to be seen. I believe that. I've seen that. That's why we like to have 2 boys come from every unit, not 1. Because then you have a partner, someone that you can do this with, and you can make a difference.
It was well worth it.
It was fun?
It was fun.
Good.
It was fun. Definitely worth it.
Teach leadership. I loved it. I love learning about leadership. I really do. It was a great time. I had a lot of fun.
It's a great opportunity to learn a lot of skills to take back to your home turf to lead everybody. It was fun.
I was a little bit nervous at first, and then it turned out to be a ton funner than I thought. I loved the staff, and I loved all of our fellow scouts.
And they learn how to be a man of integrity and to live a principled life, and that's the overriding principle that runs through the whole course.